I want to give a picture of what I think is next for altcoins, and let me just say up front, there are some mixed signals in the market. First of all, starting with Ethereum, which I'm convinced is the most important altcoin right now. Ethereum's chart looks really good. And if it's able to break through and hold this resistance around $2,700, that's going to lift up the entire altcoin market, and a lot of alts are going to do very well. But what if it were to take something like 3 weeks for that to play itself out? Well, if that's the case, I think a lot of altcoins aren't going to do so well during that 3-week stretch. This is the others market cap chart. In other words, the top 11 through 150 cryptos by market cap. And you can see it's in a clear downtrend right now. But then here's the total altcoin market cap. And so when you include the rest of the cryptos in the top 10, aside from Bitcoin, I would say that this is still structurally bullish, but then it's doing this weird thing at this trend line right here. It lost that trend line as support, and now it's just bumping up against it as resistance. And so what's going to come from that? In my opinion, I could see it being something like this, where we're in the middle of an ABC correction. So the A wave being this peak at 1.28 trillion down to about 1.12 trillion. The B wave being a move up to something around 1.22 trillion, something like that. The C wave being a move down below 110, and then hopefully some kind of a next leg up in the altcoin market cap and Bitcoin and Ethereum. But if Ethereum is going to do something like this during that ABC correction, that means a lot of other altcoins are going to bleed. And so here's a couple of examples of things that I could see happening. I picked a meme coin and an OG utility coin, but I could see this playing itself out with a lot of altcoins where we just put in this series of lower highs and lower lows until we see the end of that ABC correction play itself out, and then hopefully we'll climb high. So this is the WIF chart. I could see a lot of meme coin charts doing something like this. And here's VeChain, same deal. I could see it getting rejected at this key level right here, 0.026 cents. I have a short lined up at that position. And then when would I close that? Somewhere around 2 cents, a little under 2 cents. And that it would bottom out sometime around the point of peak fear during that ABC correction, if that's how it's going to play itself out. Now, I also want to be mindful that we are in the summer months, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, and I remember 2024. Do you remember 2024? It was brutal because it was this constant feeling of like, we're going to fall off a cliff. So with that in mind, I've de-risked a little bit just so for whatever, you want to call it mental health or something like that, fine. But just so I can sleep better at night, not need to pay as much attention to the charts. And what did I de-risk? It was mostly my meme coins, a lot of the large cap meme coins that I bought a few weeks ago. I'm still in positions with some of those, but as far as like, OG utility alts, I'm perfectly fine holding those.